So when you come out of here, it's very important to be looking up, because here you can make or break the next section. So we're going to be coming in. It's quite simple to start with. So you're coming through, we're going to stick to the main line to begin with, and then as we come down, it gets a little bit more technical, and again you're looking up. So now we're going to start to turn to the left, and this is where it gets a little bit technical. The main line seems to be here on the right. There is an inside line over the big rock, and then all of it is sweeping into a harder left, tight right, and another tight left. So it's a very, very tight chicane down here that if you carry a lot of speed through, it can really make or break this next section.
Hi guys, Coach Fenz here from FTP Training. Look, super stoked and frothing this morning to be joined by long-time FTP rider Josh Carlson, back over from Vancouver to do a bit of radness over here on Mount Stromlo. So great to see you, mate. I'm stoked to see you again. It's awesome. Always good.
Mate, it's good to be back. It's good to be back in Australia and enjoy some summer goodness. Vancouver's pretty cold at this time of year, so it's good to be back and see your big head, and it's good to be back in Australia and have a good time.
Yeah, good. So look, what we're going to do today, obviously with Josh's skills, top 10 rider in world enduro, we're going to look at some various different aspects of enduro riding to sort of fast track your learning and really tap into the experience that Josh has had traveling around the world on all the rad courses everywhere. So first part here on this section, we're going to look at choosing lines through a bit of a rock garden section. So what I'm going to do, Josh, is I'll grab hold of the video, and what I want you to do is really just instruct, you know, the new to enduro rider, just what you see when you come to a section like this, and how you would approach it, to think about what line you're going to take, and using that, because you normally walk through the trails, don't you? You normally do a full walk recon.
Yeah, if we can, for sure. Like, it's definitely beneficial. A lot of the time we don't get too much practice. So if you hear about a track being quite new or very technical, if you have an opportunity to walk, it's like do you save your legs, or is it worth walking the track to check out some lines? And usually it's worth walking the track, because you only get to see it maybe twice, at best once. Just getting some eyes on the track help you with your bike setup. They help you with your line selection. They help you with just your mental game. You know, you come into it a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
And you've just got a feel for it already, even though you haven't ridden it.
Yeah.
So if you do get a chance to walk it, maybe not walk everything, that's a bit crazy, but 1, 2, maybe 3, definitely worth a walk.
Another thing you might do, I know we've talked about it before, is actually GoPro it and then go back and walk and go through that section again and again and again.
Yep. Yeah, you can actually either, you know, some people have had a GoPro strapped to their chest, and as they're walking, they walk the track, and then, you know, later you can fast forward that, and it almost feels like you're riding it. Same time, you can take your GoPro or your phone or a camera, and you can take photos of key areas. You know, like we're in quite a rocky section here, so this would be a key area to remember. You know, you remember the sections that you need to carry speed out of, sections where there might be a big drop or a technical section or a jump or something critical to that course. And you can take photos and then write notes, and then later, when you're doing your recon, you look at the photos and you piece together the notes, and you can almost do a lap of the course without even laying tires on the ground. Yeah. So it's really, really beneficial.
Yeah, fantastic. So we're going to start scoping the line, and Josh is going to take us through what he would do. We're going to look at the entry into this section, and then we're going to look at the exit of this section and put the pieces together. All right, mate. So what would you be doing here if you're starting to look at this section of trail?
Well, this section here, it's quite early on. You come out of a few sweeping corners off the start, but you come into quite a fast right-hander, and then this bit becomes very, very technical. There's many options. There's the main line, which you'll usually find on every track that we go to. A lot of people ride it. It's easy. It's reasonably fast, but sometimes there might be another option that no one quite sees. And as important as the entry is into the corner, it's very important to look what's coming after, because you can come into a corner and exit the first one and then think you've got a killer line, but the exit is horrible. And after that exit, there's a massive straightaway, there's a big jump, there's another rock garden. You need to carry your speed through it, and if you don't set it up early, you're going to lose just copious amounts of time. It's very, very important that you set up early for the section ahead.
Perfect, mate. Looking at this section of trail here that we've come into, let's come up with you here and just sort of walk through it as to what you would look at.
So when you're walking a track, you want to look at it as if you're riding. So sometimes when you're out there at an enduro, you walk up one track and then down another, because it's just not possible. You're not going to walk up a fire road to walk down a downhill track. So sometimes when you're walking up the track, make sure you take the time to turn around and see what you've come from, because it looks totally different when you walk up it to walking down it. So as you can see, we've got a few fast sweeping turns. We've got quite a banked right here. And then we come into a big S section over some real gnarly rocks. So when you come out of here, it's very important to be looking up, because here you can make or break the next section. So we're going to be coming in. It's quite simple to start with. So you're coming through, we're going to stick to the main line to begin with. And then as we come down, it gets a little bit more technical. And again, you're looking up. So now we're going to start to turn to the left. And this is where it gets a little bit technical. The main line seems to be here on the right. There is an inside line over the big rock. And then all of it is sweeping into a harder left, tight right, and another tight left. So it's a very, very tight chicane down here that if you carry a lot of speed through, it can really make or break this next section. Although this section is short, there's valuable seconds here to use or lose. You know, you can really make up a lot of time on such a short little section.
And when I'm following you on those world champ courses, it is literally seconds.
Literally seconds. We are fighting now for hundredths of a second. So 1 second is a lot. That's the difference between first and second and third, the podium and not the podium, top 10, not the top 10. It's a lot on the line for 1 second. That much is the difference between a lot. Yeah,
I'm always, when I'm checking the results, mate, I'm always like, you are cracking jokes.
So as we come down, it gets a little bit more technical. So the main line over here, you can come through, follow the main line around the outside. It's quite smooth. But as we start to step down, one way to do it is you'll roll and pump these rocks. So you've got a big hole here. You're going to get over the back of the bike, let the bike move underneath you, and pump through them. And away you go. You're going to carry good speed out of it. Quite smooth, quite safe. That's the very easy line. On the inside over here, if you've got your head up and you set up early, you can cut off the main line and you can kind of pitter-patter through these big rocks into another inside line and again, carry your speed. On top of that, we have an even tighter. The tighter line here is not the main line, but there's quite a bit of risk. It is a lot faster. That's something that you have to weigh up with enduro. With downhill, it's different. Downhill, you'll take that line that, you know, if there's a 5% chance you're going to gain a second or 2 seconds, you'll take it. But there's a 95% chance that you'll flat, you'll crash, you'll wash out, whatever. Downhill, it's worth it. Enduro, not necessarily. You know, you've got a whole day. You've got to race for 50 minutes, an hour. You know, that one line that might gain you 1 second, but might ruin your tire, there goes your whole day. Usually, it's not worth it. So on the inside line here, we would pop over the rock, hug really, really tight, and it will set you up very nicely for the next chicane. Is it worth it? Don't know, because you're going to wash off a lot of speed here. I personally would come out of the right-hander, come around the main line where it's nice and smooth to protect my tires and stay nice and calm, carry a lot of speed through here. What you can do when you hit this rock is that you can actually double into the next section and then carry way more speed through the next rocks. So pumping down will be smooth, but just jumping this extra hole will carry a lot more momentum into the next section, keep you rolling faster, and you'll carry it through the next few corners, maybe a second or 2 seconds faster.
Fantastic. Thanks, mate. So what I reckon now is let's see it ridden. we've done 3 different lines. Josh has taken us through, walked us through it and talked about it and then ridden it. So we can see the 3 different lines. So then, Josh, what did you think of the different lines? What was the best option?
So as we saw from the start, we looked at it, we assessed the 3 different lines, we tried the 3 different lines, and they all pretty much had the same outcome to what we thought. We had the outside line where we rolled these rocks and carried good speed through. We had the inside line here where we sharpened the corner early, rolled over the rock and tried to get the inside. As we saw, very difficult to wash off enough speed to actually get the right line, and it, as we found, as you roll that rock, it kind of pushes you into this chunder, which then just bleeds time. So, not worth it, you know. Third time, we come around the outside, we held good speed, we doubled this hole, so we carried a little bit more momentum into the next section. We were able to carry good speed through these next rocks and flow into the next 2 corners, nice and smooth, nice and calm, with good speed, good momentum, not losing any time, probably gaining a little bit of time by jumping that hole. So it's definitely a worthwhile stop, a worthwhile look, and you know, a couple of valuable seconds saved and gained in this one little section.
Superb, thanks mate, fantastic. You know, some really valuable lessons on how you approach a track, scope the lines, and then pre-ride them. And there's those vital seconds to get time over your competition. Thanks very much, mate. That was bloody marvellous.